Texas was supposed to dominate in 2025, ranked number 1 in the preseason. Arch Manning, the most hyped quarterback since Trevor Lawrence, finally getting his shot as the full-time starter. SEC championship predictions, national title talk. Instead, 2 early losses, a brutal October on the road, close wins against teams they should have blown out. Texas sits at 7-3, very low odds of even making the playoffs and title chances practically at 0. So what went wrong? Was it Arch Manning, the offensive line, bad luck, or did the hype just get too big? This is the story of expectations versus reality. Let's break it down. Chapter 1, the impossible expectations. When Arch Manning committed to Texas in June 2022, the college football world collectively lost its mind. The grandson of Archie, the nephew of Peyton and Eli. The Manning family had produced 2 Super Bowl MVPs and the most famous quarterback lineage in football history. Arch was the number 1 overall prospect in the 2023 class. Not just the best quarterback, the best player, period. The expectations weren't just high, they were impossible. For 2 years, he sat behind Quinn Ewers, learning the system, developing, waiting for his moment. In 2024, when Ewers got injured, Arch got his first extended playing time. He looked electric, throwing for multiple touchdowns against UTSA and Oklahoma, showing off his arm and mobility. Heading into 2025, the hype machine was running full steam. Texas was ranked number 1 in the AP preseason poll. Arch Manning was a Heisman favorite. Analysts predicted the Longhorns would dominate the SEC and compete for a national championship, proclaiming he was the next great college quarterback. Some even called him a future first overall NFL draft pick before he'd started a single game. The pressure was suffocating. The expectations were unrealistic. But that's what comes with the Manning name. Chapter 2, the disastrous start. Week 1 at Ohio State. The most watched Week 1 game in college football history. Number 1 Texas at number 3 Ohio State. Arch Manning's debut as a full-time starter on the biggest stage imaginable. It was a disaster. Manning completed just 17 of 30 passes for 170 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Texas managed only 7 points. Ohio State won 14-7. The offense looked out of sync. Manning held the ball too long. The offensive line couldn't protect him. Nothing worked. Texas bounced back with wins over San Jose State and UTEP, but the performances weren't convincing. Manning looked better against Sam Houston in Week 4, throwing for 309 yards and 5 total touchdowns in a blowout win. Week 5 at Florida. Then came the gut punch. Texas traveled to Florida, a 1-3 Gators team that had lost 3 straight games. Texas was favored. This was supposed to be an easy SEC road win. Florida won 29-21. Texas fell to 3-2. The national championship dream was diminishing. The SEC title, hopes alive, but circling the drain. Suddenly, Texas was just trying to make the 12-team college football playoff. After 5 games, Manning's stats were underwhelming. 60% completion, 1,151 passing yards, 16 total touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. For a player with his hype, it wasn't nearly good enough. Chapter 3, the October from Hell. Here's where it gets worse. Texas didn't play a single home game in October, not one. They went to Florida, played Oklahoma at a neutral site, then back-to-back true road games at Kentucky and Mississippi State. The Red River rivalry was a bright spot. Texas beat Oklahoma and got a much-needed confidence boost, but the road grind was just beginning, winning at Kentucky 16-13. This was ugly. Manning completed just 44% of his passes, one of the worst performances of his season. Texas won 13-10, but it looked like a team struggling to stay afloat, not a championship contender. Offensive line issues continued. Manning was under constant pressure. The running game was inconsistent. winning at Mississippi State 28-24 in overtime. Texas trailed 31-14 going into the fourth quarter. They needed a miraculous comeback to win in overtime. Manning threw for 346 yards and 4 touchdowns, showing flashes of brilliance. But the fact that Texas nearly lost to a 4-3 Mississippi State team was alarming. And through it all, Manning was dealing with injuries. The specifics weren't always public, but it was clear he wasn't 100%. The offensive line couldn't protect him. Wide receivers dealt with their own injury issues. The running game was one-dimensional at times. By mid-October, Texas was 5-2, ranked 22nd, and looking nothing like the preseason #1 team everyone expected. Chapter 4, the volatility problem. Here's the thing about Arch Manning's 2025 season. It's been wildly inconsistent. Week to week, game to game, even quarter to quarter, you never know which version of Arch you're going to get. One analyst noted that Manning's week-to-week on-target percentage swings from plus 17.4 to minus 12.1. Wild volatility you rarely see in quarterbacks. Against Kentucky, he had -1 rushing yards on 11 carries. Against Sam Houston, he looked like a Heisman candidate. Current stats through 10 games: 62.7% completion percentage, 2,374 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 186 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns. These aren't terrible numbers, but they're not what you expect from the most hyped quarterback prospect in a decade, leading the preseason #1 team. Chapter 5, is it fair to blame Arch? Here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not all Arch Manning's fault. The offensive line, Texas's offensive line, has been inconsistent all season. New starters, injuries, communication issues. Manning has been under constant pressure. When he has time in the pocket, he's completing 75 to 80% of his passes and making elite throws. When he's pressured, everything falls apart. Injuries to weapons wide receivers have dealt with injuries all season. The running game has lacked consistency. Manning has had to work with a rotating cast of pass catchers, and the chemistry hasn't always been there. Play calling questions. Some have questioned offensive coordinator decisions. Is Steve Sarkisian's play calling putting Manning in the best position to succeed? Are they asking too much of a first-year starter? Brutal schedule. That October stretch with no home games and back-to-back true road games in the SEC. Only championship-level teams survived that gauntlet. Since 2019, only 4 SEC teams have won back-to-back true road games, and 3 of them won national championships. The name, being a Manning, comes with impossible expectations. Every incomplete pass is overanalyzed. Every mistake is magnified. Peyton struggled his freshman year at Tennessee. Eli had his ups and downs, but Arch doesn't get that grace period, not with social media and 24/7 coverage. Chapter 6, the turnaround. Here's the silver lining. Arch Manning is improving. Over Texas's current 4-game winning streak, he's completing 65.4% of his passes for 972 yards, 8 total touchdowns, and just 1 interception. The Vanderbilt game showed what Arch can be. Against a top 25 defense, he threw for 328 yards and 3 touchdowns, completing 76% of his passes. He looked comfortable, confident, in control. Even his uncle Eli noticed the improvement. On ESPN SportsCenter, Eli said, "It just seems like he has a better feel of this offense. I feel like the offense is playing better. They have a lot of new guys, and things are starting to click." Where Texas stands. With the recent loss to Georgia, Texas' playoff chances are very slim and most likely won't happen, especially considering they finished the season against top-ranked Texas A&M. Chapter 7, the bigger picture. Let's put this in perspective. Even the greatest quarterbacks had growing pains as first-year starters. Trevor Lawrence went 10-2 his freshman year at Clemson. but he had a loaded roster around him and wasn't under Manning-level scrutiny. Bryce Young struggled early at Alabama before winning the Heisman his second year as a starter. The reality is that Texas's 2025 struggles aren't just about one player. They lost key contributors from last year's team. They're adjusting to the brutal SEC schedule. They've dealt with injuries across the board. First-year starters rarely lead teams to championships, even ones named Manning. The talent is undeniable. When Arch has time and healthy receivers, he makes throws that maybe 5 quarterbacks in college football can make. The 62-yard bomb to Ryan Wingo at Mississippi State, calm under pressure, perfect ball placement, was NFL-level quarterbacking. Manning will be back in 2026 if he doesn't declare for the NFL draft, which seems unlikely given this season. With another year of experience, a more settled offensive line, and expectations reset, he could still become the quarterback everyone thought he'd be. So what went wrong with Arch Manning in Texas in 2025? The answer is complicated. It's injuries. It's offensive line struggles. It's a brutal schedule. It's the impossible weight of expectations. It's a first-year starter learning on the fly in the toughest conference in college football. But here's what it's not. It's not a bust. It's not a failure. It's a reality check. Arch Manning is talented enough to be elite, but talent alone doesn't win championships, especially when you're 21 years old, playing against grown men in the SEC. The narrative can still change. A strong finish could flip the story from disappointing season to growing pains that led to improvement. Or more struggles could cement this as a cautionary tale about hype meeting reality. One thing is certain, Arch Manning isn't going anywhere. He'll learn from this season. He'll get better. And whether it's in the final games of 2025, in 2026, or beyond, the Manning legacy will add another chapter. The hype was always going to be too much. But the story isn't over. Not even close. What do you think? Has Arch Manning lived up to the hype? Or were the expectations always impossible? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Texas's disappointing 2025 season, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into college football's biggest stories, players, and controversies.